Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning into this reading this week. Supportive, nope. The tarot cards I'm using. There we go. Star Spinner Tarot by Trungles. I'm all excited about your reading. I have no idea why. So, here we go. There is a website for them, chroniclebooks.com. So if you want to look up this deck or other decks that they might have part of. I hope that's focusing. There we go. So there's that. Supportive Oracle Cards, Energy Oracle Cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. There's no website on this one. But if you look her up, I'm sure you'll find her. She's quite popular. I'm going to move these out of the way first. What do we got for Cancer? Oh, and I warned Gemini, and I'll let you know too, this tarot deck has like at least 3, if not more, lovers cards. So I don't know if it's going to be love heavy or what. What's going on over here? I just got like sidetracked. Like this is like I think this is good, but there's an external problem here. There's an external problem. It's like this happens once in a while. So it's like you, the person you're dealing with, and then there's somebody outside of them. This is where I'm getting the conflict, which might be bleeding over to you. So be aware of that. So it's almost like, maybe you're having a problem with Aunt Susie, and Aunt Susie's friend is giving her the riot act and giving her a hard time, and Aunt Susie's getting all worked up about whatever subject, and then you bring up the same subject, and then she's unloading on you. Then you're like, where did that come from? That, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so Aunt Susie's getting like flack from one of her friends. Bam, 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 bam. You don't know that. You go towards Aunt Susie. Aunt Susie, you start that conversation with her, and she's got a lot to say about that, and boom, she explodes on you, and you're like, what did I do? Why? This is like, I feel like there's something like this going on here. Just to be fair. Because I want to set the stage with that. Because I feel like if you are currently having an argument with somebody that you don't usually argue with, or if one comes up, I think they're going to, like, they want to give you this heads up, like somebody else is getting this person all upset. You just hit the right button and boom, it goes off is what I'm getting. Because communication is happening here. Okay, let's start from the beginning. I want to like put that ahead of the thing just because I want to give you like somewhere to stand so you have a viewpoint to understand what's going on and why. Because I know I'm a Pisces and you're Cancer. We're both water signs. When people say nasty stuff to us, especially when we're not expecting it, that hits hard and we don't forget it. So I think that's why I'm trying to like set the stage with that, just so you can prepare yourself. It does hit hard, you know what I mean? We're emotional people. Different ways of dealing with things, I know, but still. Because when this is starting off, you got the Queen of Swords and the Six of Coins, which is the give and take card. This is somebody, and I know we already set the stage with this, but this is somebody you're used to talking with and being very open with. Somebody who's very open with you. Somebody who like, maybe sometimes the conversations can be a little rocky, but I don't think they're ever disrespectful. Or at least like, if they get rocky, it's kind of like, okay, well, we both started going into this conversation, or we went over to the woods here a little bit. We knew we were going there, and when I walked into the woods with them, I knew it could get a little scary. So like, this is a person, like, it's not often that, you really venture into those type of conversations, but when you do, you're like, well, I ventured into the woods with them with this conversation, so I knew that could be an issue. So you're not really shocked when they get a little bit upset. And you're like, okay, no, I knew that was a subject I should not have gone towards. And I opened the door, or they dragged me in there. One of the two. But it's usually like, there's very give and take. Like, I said this because I felt that way. They said that because they felt that way. And it usually is something that works itself out, okay? Community is usually really good with this person. Like, you get along with this person, and there's more than one person. Like, if this is a friend, you have other friends in common. Family members, obviously, you'd have other family members in common. Work associate, there's other people connect. Like, this is like a community connection. This is somebody that I feel like is usually, even if they don't agree with you, they respect your opinion and they help you get your opinion out. They don't railroad you or walk over you. They're like, okay, maybe we don't agree, but tell me what you think and we'll work it out and figure out what we can do with it, or at least I want to understand why you think the way you think. All right. This is that type of person. Now, somebody else is coming forward with this Temperance card and the Door to Value? Door to Romance. That's weird how that feels. Because I am getting the cups in the center. This is the external, like, you know, again, if we're going to use that Aunt Susie thing. This is one of Aunt Susie's friends. Somebody outside of, like, you probably don't know this person. Or at least maybe not very well, or not aware of this conversation. Somebody outside of the situation is going through something. There's something they want. I am getting like a love thing. So there might be like a love triangle thing, or there might be like, when I get the Temperance with the Door to Romance, I feel like somebody's making decisions that the person you're dealing with might think are selfish. So in other words, like if this is Aunt Susie thinks that the decisions this other person is making are selfish. So I think this might be starting it off, because when I'm getting this, it seems random to Aunt Susie. I keep using Aunt Susie. Like, that's the best way I can think of to explain this, because it's not the person you're dealing with, it's the person outside of them. This is starting this, and this is like agitating the situation. They don't like it. The person you're going to deal with does not like that this is going on. This is something that you're not even aware of. You're not even aware of, but you have other things you want to talk to Susie about. You're not even aware of this. There's a lot of energy coming in here. It does seem complicated, but we're going to go with it. I do feel like there's a conversation between Aunt Susie and her friend. Again, it's an analogy. Roll with it. Hopefully this makes sense. I feel like this is quite complicated, but I think the right ones will figure out where we're going with this. It's not changing the circumstances. There's a conversation about it, not changing the circumstances. There seems to be like, yeah, that's not the best, but this is what needs to happen. I can't live like this anymore. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I have to do what I feel is right. There's a disagreement here. I'm getting the Hermit with the yin yang. Like, it's very conflicting. Very conflicting. Like, this energy is definitely bleeding all over. This is really ticking somebody off. Which is the person you're going to connect with, Aunt Susie. You know what I mean? At the same time frame, you have things you need to talk with Aunt Susie about. Some things that are very important, because you got the Eight of Pentacles here with the Knight of Swords. You have some big issues, something that you want to talk with Aunt Susie about. This is the person you're connected with. I apologize for using the same thing, but I'm trying to keep it as coherent as possible, or as easily followed as possible. I know some of you are going to be like, I'm going to get some comments on this one, I know. Sorry. You have some important things to talk with Aunt Susie about. And there's things that you really want to work out. It's not something that we're going to make decisions today on, but it's like we have to start thinking about this. We have to start working this out. We have to start churning over the situation and really start digging in deep and deciding what needs to happen and when things need to happen. We need to have some really meaningful conversations. I'm not thinking you're not going towards this like this is going to be difficult, but it's going to be, something where, we're going to start this conversation and I got to be in the right mindset. I got to watch how Aunt Susie responds to things. That way, I don't step on anybody's toes and we can get like something taken care of here. Means a lot to you. Big heart going on with you. And I'm getting the initial conversation is going well. Because you got the Empress going on between you and Aunt Susie. Again, Aunt Susie's an analogy. I feel like in the beginning stages of this situation, it seems like everything is going well. There's bigger things to be dealt with, bigger fishes to fry, if you will. Starts off right, but we're going to have a few more conversations. We have more things to work out. We got to decide who's going to do this, who's going to do that. And I feel like you get the Fool card on this. It starts off well, which to me seems very rational for you to think, okay, It's a situation that's going to take some work and some effort, but initially it's starting off on the right foot. We're watching our P's and Q's, we're doing what we need to do, we're talking it out carefully, I'm not pushing too hard, I'm absorbing what they need to say, and we're hashing it out slowly but surely. And it seems like, okay, as long as we keep in this idea of how, like, as long as we keep in this mode theme, as long as we keep in this theme of just working this way with each other, it should go well. I'm using Aunt Susie again. Aunt Susie has a lot going on. She's got the Hermit, or the Hanged Man with the Thinking Man. A lot going on. I don't think she's thinking about what's going, like, I'm using she, but you know, they. I don't think they're thinking about what your situation is. They're really getting amped up about this. This other situation is really tweaking their biscuit. They do not like it. Be forewarned. There's a reason that this person, which we're using Aunt Susie, is very invested in the outcome of what's going on with this other person. Somebody around them is doing something, they do not like it. They're very centered on that. They're very, they're like, because they can't affect it. Like, things are happening, changes are being made. They don't have the ability to change or to affect it the way they want to. That situation progresses into the next level. What is this? The Ten of Cups. Yep. With the balance. Whoever that is around Aunt Susie, I love doing this apparently today. They're making decisions and they're happy and they're enjoying what they're doing. They're feeling like, you know what, I know it's rough, I know it's a little bit jagged, I know it's messy, but they are like, I need to do this, this is what's best for me, and I'm doing what's best for me. This is really, now this is setting off Aunt Susie. I'm going to resist the air quote this time. The Devil card. This is in direct opposition of you. This is sometimes Capricorn. I don't think we're talking about a Capricorn, but who knows. It's more about this energy. This is in direct opposition to what you're working towards. I'm getting, this is somebody who's just really ticked off, angry, not thinking about the situation that you're dealing with them. There's going to be like this blow up is what I'm getting with the Devil card. It's not going to last that long. But like something really, it's like a blow up. It's kind of like, bam, they go off on you. I feel like they're going to literally go off on you, and it's going to seem like it's just like, where did that come from? And I feel like it's going to hurt your feelings, because it's kind of like, I can't believe this happened. I don't understand why they said those things to me. I don't understand what I did to make them so angry. And they just, poof, unload on you. The Death card with the Nine of Cups is kind of like they're getting it out of their system, and they're not realizing. I feel like they don't realize how bad they're really bothering you with this. This is really like, what do you call it? Blindsided. Really blindsided. The Death card with the Nine of Cups is telling me it's just a moment and it passes. I feel like, I feel like somebody I care about just like beeped at me, then flipped me off, and then kept driving. And they had a really nasty look on their face when they did it. Like, if you think about somebody you care about and they pass you in a parking lot, instead of them like pulling over to say hi, they beep at you, flip you off, and give you an ugly look and keep on driving. And it's kind of like, what the hell was that about? Like why? Like, if you think about somebody you care about doing that to you, like that's how this feels to me. Kind of like I don't even have a moment to react. I also see that they're moving on from this really quick. This really bothers you. Like, it's very upsetting for you. You get the Five of Wands and the Five of Cups. No, Five of Coins. Didn't you already have coins? Is that really coins? Yeah, Five of Coins. I don't know I don't understand. Like, I feel like I'm just sitting here going, I don't get it. Like, I'm very upset, and I'm completely like, I don't get it. And I feel like this is what this reading is about. It's taken me 5 days to get there. They're trying to explain, like, what happened, this blow up that happened to you, had nothing to do with you. Had nothing to do with you. But I feel like it's hard to feel that way. Whoever this is, it's like they blow up at you. They throw you right off. It's kind of like, I don't know what we're going to do to fix this now, because Aunt Susie's ticked at me and I don't understand what I did to her. I don't understand why she's so angry with me. I'm upset and I don't know what to do about it. Then the same person, we're going to use Aunt Susie again, fixes it real fast. Like, oh, I thought you were somebody else. Don't worry about it. Just pretend that didn't happen. And all of a sudden they're all on your side. So you wanted to do that with this situation? You wanted to do this? That's a great idea. Let's just do that. Let's just do it. I think you're right. I know your heart's in the right place. Let's just do what you wanted to do. Let's just do that. Let's just move on from this. The Chariot is literally the Cancer card, which is like, they go from direct opposition and they blow up on you, and then all of a sudden they're like, ooh, all right, how about we just do it your way? And they completely change the whole landscape of this situation. The whole thing goes your way. The way you want this to go, the whole thing goes your way. They don't want to talk about what's going on around them. There's something here, it's very private for them. They don't want to talk about what's happening. They don't want you to know. They don't want to explain anything. And I do get the King of Cups with the Two of Cups is the way this is ending. You seem to be ending on good terms. But I also feel like, again, you're a water sign. There's like this weird, like, why? Like, I don't understand why I got the brunt of that. They're just trying to help you understand. This is moving on. This literally had nothing to do with you, except that you got dumped on. You literally got dumped on. It's moving on. Let it move on. Because this person isn't going to explain to you what was going on in their head, what they were dealing with. It's very private for them. They don't want to explain that. They're not going to explain that. I'm just getting it's like a locked door. And I know we keep saying like it's somebody outside, like it's Aunt Susie's friend or something, but it might be a lot closer than that. It might be somebody that you know in common, but they don't want you to know what's going on. So keep that in mind. I'm dreading to say this because I know there's a lot of people who watch these videos sometimes. For example, maybe it's Aunt Susie's partner, and that partner cheated on them, and they don't want that public knowledge. So they're not going to explain that that's what they were upset about, and they just had it. They don't want people to know that ever happened. Think of it that way. That's not going to be true for all of you, but like, I feel like that makes sense. I feel like you can get on board with like, oh, all right, yes, somebody betrayed me. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want people knowing about that. I think you can understand it. Agreeing with it, that's a whole other story. I get that. But I think you get the emotional state where, like, I don't like that it happened to begin with, and I don't need the whole world talking about it. Not that you're going to tell everybody, but they don't want to share that with people. Like, they don't even want to admit that it happened to begin with, let alone talk about it with somebody else and explain the ins and outs of what's been going on and all that other stuff. The short of this is, though, this energy moves on. You will end up getting what you want from this situation. I feel like this reading's mostly about, like, realizing, like, this blow-up literally had nothing to do with you. Hopefully you're able to, like, get some peace or some clarity or some closure with that. Maybe. I just feel like they're trying to say this person is not an enemy. They don't really harbor any resentment against you. It was something else that triggered them, and you just got dumped on. And that's also the reason why things go your ways, because they know they shouldn't have done that, and they feel bad about it. So they just try to make up for it that way, and they want to move it on. So it's up to you whether you're going to let that happen or not, obviously. But they're saying this is why this is going this way, and I think that's a good way for them to handle it. It's like the best they can do, if that makes sense. Whether you accept that or not, or whether you're okay with that or not, is clearly up to you. But I think we're there. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.